no crying in baseball!
Viva Cuba Libre. Welcome into episode number 62 of the Pissed Off Podcast, the hardest hitting 30 minutes of baseball coverage you will get all week. I'm your host, Bitter Mike Babbo. With me, as usual, is my compadre, mi amigo, Mr. Aric Schuler. Aric, how you doing?
What is happening, everybody? I am doing well. We're heading into the weekend. I'm very excited about that. Father's Day this weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the
Day to everybody. Happy Father's Day to you,
thank
Mr.
you,
Schuler.
Yep, we got the big U.S. Open going on this weekend. Looks
we
like
got
a
the
very
U.S.
tough
Open,
course.
La Copa Mundial, World Cup.
Yes.
It's fantastic. I love it. I don't know.
Have you been to a game?
I have been to a game.
Here, on this one?
No, not this one.
1.
1994.
Oh, okay.
My first month in the oil and gas business, I was a branded rep in the Sunset District of California, and one of my dealers was from Nicaragua. And, I do a sales call to him, and he says, Michael, I cannot go to this game. I cannot go to this game. Would you like to go to today's game? And I'm like, sure. I mean, and I'm an agnostic soccer fan. I was soccer at that time. I'm 30 years old. And he hands me the ticket, and it's Brazil versus Cameroon.
Oh, look at that.
And I'm like, okay, I'm in.
So you got to go watch the man play, huh?
I watched the man play, and I watched the guys play. And more importantly, I immersed myself in the entire skeptical or the whole experience. I rode the Caltrain, which is a commuter train from South San Francisco to Stanford Stadium. It was a 45-minute ride, and I rode it with a bunch of Brazilians, and they were hilarious. They were wonderful. They were fun. They were clapping. They were cheering for Brazil, and some of them felt sorry for the Cameroonians, and they started cheering for the Cameroonians. And as a commuter train, I got to tell you the story. As a commuter train, we kept on stopping, and then they were clapping. It's like nonstop. And so halfway through the journey, the conductor comes on and says, ladies and gentlemen, now that this train is full, this will be a nonstop to Stanford Stadium. The place went bananas. Off the hook. It was awesome. And then going to the game, to the match itself, it was ballet on the pitch.
That is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I became an absolute World Cup nut. I've been following every game. It's wonderful. Mexico, congratulations to Mexico. They clinched their spot to the round of 32. USA plays this afternoon against Australia. They are heavily favored. And I think if they win, they clinch a spot as well because Australia already they won their previous match, and the other two teams in their bracket obviously lost. So, big match for Australia for the United States. And we'll see what happens, but it's fantastic. But anyway, so
exciting weekend. Needless to say,
fantastic
for sure.
Who do you got for the U.S. Open?
Man, I don't know. I really like Fitzpatrick. I think he's got a solid game. Right, I really like. He seems so calm and cool and collected to me. And so I really like his game. I think he's going to really give it a shot. But that's kind of. I'm also have a little hope there. I kind of like the kid.
Yeah. I got two choices: Ludwig Oberg and Tommy Fleetwood. Fairway Jesus.
Yeah, Fleetwood would be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see that for sure.
Let's lay out this show, Aric. We'll take a look at the latest news and notes throughout Major League Baseball, and then take a quick peek of the division standings, find out who's wearing us out, and look at some key matchups this weekend. But first, congratulations to the UNC Tar Heels and the Oklahoma Sooners for making it to the Men's College World Series Final. That is also going on this weekend. The first game is Saturday on ESPN. First pitch is 7 p.m. Central Time. The Tar Heels outlast West Virginia Mountaineers 12-7 to advance behind center fielder Owen Hull, second baseman Gavin Gallagher, and first baseman Eric Paulson. They combined to go 11 for 15 out of the 2, 3, and 4 holes, scoring 6 runs and driving in 7. Hull himself had 2 home runs and a triple, and then OU had 5 home runs to pull away from the Georgia Bulldogs late in the other bracket in what was a close game until about the 7th inning. L.J. Mercurius came in for the starter, Nick Wazlowski, for the Sooners in the bottom of the 6th, and he proceeded to walk 2 runs in and turned a 5-1 game into a 5-3 nail-biter. But then he settled down, and I was watching this game, and I was just like pulling my hair out. You know what hair I had left. And I said, why aren't you pulling this guy? And then all of a sudden, he comes in the 7th and just mows him down. He allowed only 2 hits the rest of the way. And then, of course, OU just like bashed their way and just turned around and run
so
away.
A couple stats here. I had no idea. A friend of mine came up and told me this. So apparently OU has hit 40% of their home runs in the postseason this whole year.
Wow.
So 40% of their home runs have come in the NCAA tournament.
So that's not their game.
Yeah, but what I'm going to tell you is this about OU. OU played very subpar baseball, almost 500 baseball in SEC play.
Yeah.
I will tell you, they have gotten hot at the right moment, but one loss, I think, changes this thing. Game one, the winner of game one will win it all.
Yeah.
And the reason why I believe that is because if OU loses, they haven't lost in a long time.
You think that'll knock them back?
I think it's going to reset them, and if they win, they're going to steamroll themselves to the championship. I just don't see it. But I congratulations to both teams. I consider myself pretty well versed in sports. Had no idea this was North Carolina's first title.
Yeah,
I had no idea. I thought I've always thought about them when I think about Omaha. I feel like they've been there maybe more than they have.
Right.
But that surprises me. I would have had no idea that they didn't have an NCAA baseball title.
And when Georgia beat Texas to advance to that final game against OU, they did not hit a home run, and that was only their fourth win all season without hitting a home run.
Yeah,
so they lived and died by it.
Which I will tell you this, Mike. So I watch. I'm a religious Texas baseball fan. I watch a lot of Texas baseball. I have never seen a team get more burnt by the shift than UT in Omaha.
Wow.
I can't believe it. I saw them get burnt by the shift twice against Oregon in the Super Regional, and then the other night against Georgia. Wouldn't have changed the dynamic of the game because they gave up 2 runs, but the shift cost them in one of those innings. Just like, I know they're playing the law of averages, I get it, but every casual baseball fan who's watching the game says, what the hell is this guy doing playing behind second base? Right, that's what they're saying, and now we know. And at the end of the day, they got burnt by the shift twice. They had a couple balls hit between the first baseman and the second baseman, and it really hurt them.
Yeah,
really hurt them.
That's really too bad. But they had a great season, too. All right, let's take a look at some news and notes from around the league, Aric. Detroit Tigers activate 2-time Cy Young Award winner Tarik Skubal from the IL. He will start today, Friday, against the AL rival White Sox. He threw only 1 rehab start, but apparently it was enough. 5 innings, no earned runs, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks, and 54 pitches. He's been out since May 6th when he underwent surgery to remove loose bodies from his elbow. Apparently it was only 1 loose body. The Tigers were 15-16 before he went on the IL. They've been 14-26 since, a major disappointment. They also placed starting pitcher Jack Flaherty with a perennial strain. They placed him on the IL, so they need Skubal back, but they really need to start hitting. And of course, we'll see how it goes. But I mean, they've got a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, so I think so. You saw Skubal's comments, right? He came out today and basically outlined, "Hey, if we don't start playing better baseball, this whole team's going to look different post trade deadline." And I agree with him.
Wow, yeah,
yep, I agree with him. And my thing is, it's going to happen. I was a big fan. I am wrong about this. For all the listeners out there, I am wrong. I thought Detroit was going to have the gumption to come in, be a perennial playoff contender here, sign this guy to a long-term deal. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. They're in the cellar here. Check the polls. I don't see them coming back in this division. They're 9.5 games back and dead last.
Yeah.
They are 14 games under 500. That's just not going to get it done. I see him pitching this guy. He's going to be pitching for somebody else late in the year.
Right. They're showcasing him. He immediately vaults to the top of the trade market.
Yep. He's the top guy for sure.
The team they're chasing is the Cleveland Guardians, and they lose third baseman Jose Ramirez to a hamate fracture. This is a huge blow, Aric. This guy is a surefire Hall of Famer, an MVP candidate. But on June 13th, he popped out in the 5th inning of a game against the Tigers, and he felt something really bad, and he was removed after that at bat. Timetable looks to be a month. This year, he played all of 72 games before this injury, a solid 754 OPS, but below his career numbers. Solid by anybody else's measure, but not really what we expect out of Jose Ramirez. But strikingly, he led the league in stolen bases with 24. So tough blow for them. They also experienced some other injuries, and we'll discuss that later with them when we look at the division standings.
Still tied at the top.
Yeah, they're still. But I don't know how they do it. I mean,
how are the White Sox doing it?
We'll talk about them later. We will. But you know what? Hey, they're for real, and we'll talk about them later. But they gave us 2 reasons to think they are for real. The Giants, my lovely San Francisco Giants, have already been telling people that they put the word out that they are going to be sellers in this market, that they are looking to part with some of their key players, second baseman Luis Ariz and starting pitcher Robbie Ray, who are having good seasons. Robbie Ray's having kind of an up and down season, but he had a nice outing against the Braves earlier this week. But Ariz has been playing Gold Glove caliber to second base, hitting .324, driving in all sorts of runs. He hit a 2-run homer against Atlanta. Both of these guys are on expiring contracts. They're free agents at the end of the year. Ariz is only owed $11 million for the entire year. Robbie Ray is owed $25 million, but they're also entertaining offers for shortstop Willie Adames, who they signed at the beginning of last year, Matt Chapman, who they signed at the end of 2024 to a 7-year extension, and, of course, Rafi Devers, who's the first baseman in DH. They traded for him in a big blockbuster deal around this time last year. They're not looking to move starting pitcher Logan Webb, at least not yet, but they're looking to basically just wipe the slate clean with trying to get rid of some of these contracts. I don't see it happening because these contracts are bloated. Chapman is signed through 2030, and he's making $25 million per, and he's 33 years old. Adames is signed through 2031 at $26 million per. He's turning 31 in September. Devers is the youngest of the bunch, but he's signed through 2033 as a DH/first baseman. And he's learning on the fly here, and he's getting paid $29 million to learn a new position. They're 13 games under 500 at 30-43, fourth in the National League West. They're looking up at everybody with a $233 million payroll. They are, in my mind, they're out of it. They're out of it.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what I think. Major step back here for the Giants. I'm disappointed in the fact that they could be a massive wholesaler here. I think they could gut this whole thing. And I'm going to tell you, when you start gutting it, you're moving back. You're moving backwards. It's going to be another, you gut this whole thing, it's 3 to 5 years of purgatory.
Easy, because their top prospects are in high A ball.
Right. They're not close.
They're not close.
Correct.
Right.
And so what this comes down to is I think this is incredibly disappointing for first-year manager Vitello. I don't like it.
Well, he's overmatched.
No,
we can talk about him, but he's overmatched. But the thing is
it
that
definitely looks like that. But he's got a bunch of guys on his roster that are underperforming, man.
They're underperforming, and they've got log jams, and they're also playing out of position. Casey Smith is not an outfielder. They're putting him in outfield because they've got Matt Chapman at third base.
We've talked about playing out of position, but at some point, you got to be a pro. Right, at some point,
he's being a pro. He's trying his best.
Right. But I'm just saying, we can't continue to use the playing out of position as an excuse on why a team is underperforming.
But you also try and put people in the best position to be successful.
I agree with that, but
right.
at some point, like you're rolling out the group you got out there, and I'm going to tell you, I'm disappointed in this. It's not that I thought San Francisco was going to compete for the division. Right? I mean, we know the Padres and the Dodgers got that locked up.
Yeah, sure.
I'm disappointed that they're damn near last. They're almost 15 games out below 500, right? They haven't been able to score any
They have
runs,
the second worst record
right?
in the National League.
Yeah, it's just for me, this is what failure looks like if you're the Giants. Failure does not look like a 500 ball club in the middle of that division. That's not what failure looks like. This is failure.
Yeah, I know.
This looks like failure to me.
Well, this roster was constructed poorly. You got too many guys at the same position, and the front office. If you listen to them in Instagram posts and stuff, they're beside themselves. They had no idea that they were going to be this bad. And I'm thinking to myself, you had no idea. I had an idea. They weren't going to win 80 ball games.
I did not think they would be this bad. You thought they were going to be this bad?
Not this bad. I thought they were going to be a 75-win team. But right now they're projected to lose 97 ball games. Which, by the way, I still think we need to. I think we need to put some type of a stair step in our bet here. All right, because for them, they were projected to win 81.5 ball games. All right. And I think 95 is kind of steep. I think maybe like between 90 and 95, maybe we, instead of a steak dinner, maybe like lupe tortilla.
No, absolutely not. No, I feel good about my bet.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm going to tell you though, Mike, they're not the only team in the league underachieving.
No.
You know?
We'll take a look at some of the, and I'm ready to write off 2 more teams. Actually, 3 more teams, and they're all in the AL. All right, so We'll table that for just a second. Other news, real quick. MLB, and we'll get talking about this one next week, but Major League Baseball has proposed sweeping changes to the amateur draft format. They're basically going to go down from, I think, the current 20 rounds to 12, eliminating anybody in high school age or under the age of 20 from the draft. But again, we'll talk about that in detail next week because it's sweeping changes. The Angels outfielder Mike Trout goes on the IL with a hamstring strain. He will be out at 10 days. He did feel better about it. I mean, he felt something really bad on Wednesday night, but talking to him Thursday morning, he says he felt a lot better. So hopefully it's just a minimum stay on the IL, but still a blow for him because he was having a resurgent year. And finally, the Mets might finally get their shortstop and cornerstone player Francisco Lindor back. He begins a rehab assignment on Friday. That's today as we're recording this. He could be activated as early next week. He has been playing in sim games at Citi Field, and so that's why they feel that he's only going to need one, at most 2 games in SUNY Binghamton, New York, in their AAA affiliate before he is called up to the major leagues.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
I know you don't care, but I mean,
that team is toast.
And yeah, they are toast.
But I'm sorry. That's another experiment gone wrong. Right, another one I was wrong about.
Well, yeah.
I was wrong about it.
Yeah.
Right, I was excited to watch it.
Well, wait a minute. You said it was going to be interesting, and it has been.
It has been interesting,
but it's been an absolute mess.
But
mess.
once again, I will go back to the expectation was not, hey, the Mets compete for a championship or a division title. This is epic failure. This is failure. Being last place in your division, 15 games under 500.
Again, gutted the roster, put guys in positions that they've never played before.
I mean, I agree with that. You're right. You're right. What can I say when you're right? You're right. I just am very disappointed.
I'm just not that right very often.
Cohen has got to be beside himself.
Oh, he's got to be ticked.
I mean, he's got to be beside himself.
Yeah. He's rich. He's worth $24 billion, but he's also a fan, so he's got to be pretty ticked.
I guess he's probably fine.
I'm sure. All right. Shall we take a look at the division standings here?
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Your American League East, the Yankees holding down the fort without Judge.
Yeah, and
so far, so good.
And the wheels coming off in Tampa Bay a little bit.
And the wheels are coming off in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, that's why they've stretched this thing out to 3 games.
The Rays are 5-9 in June. The offense is sputtered. They're scoring 3 or fewer runs in 9 of those games, including getting shut out 3 times, and they just got swept in LA by the Dodgers. The Red Sox. The Red Sox are one of the 3 teams that I am just absolutely writing off. They're done.
Toast.
They're done.
Yep.
They're not mathematically eliminated, but they're done. I'm going to give you 2 stats for you. Number 1, they're 0-37 when trailing by 4 runs at any point in the game, and if they're trailing by 3 runs or more after the 6th inning, winless. What does that tell you about a team?
Mentally, they're out of it.
That they quit.
Yeah. Mentally,
that they checked out.
Yeah, they're
they're done.
I agree. But what I will say is, if you look at their run differential, it's not heavily negative. It is negative. I think it's 13. But I will tell you, they did not quite get the pop they were expecting from firing their manager.
Yeah.
Right. It did nothing. It did nothing. Like I've seen managers come and go for teams that are more talented than being in last place. I'm frustrated with a bunch of these teams in last place. Boston has no business being in last place.
Well, someone's got to be in last place, though, Aric.
No, I understand, but I would think it was the Marlins or the Chicago White Sox or the Minnesota Twins. Right. Those are the teams that I would think would be in last place.
You wouldn't think it's the Tigers.
I will say the Colorado Rockies. Okay, I could see them being
the
in last
Angels,
place.
right?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, teams like Boston don't belong in last place. Teams like Detroit don't belong in last place. Teams like the Astros don't like the fact that nobody's taking that division. They shouldn't be down there in the cellar.
Oh, we're definitely going to talk about the Astros here pretty soon.
And so my thing is, if you are the New York Mets, if you are the San Francisco Giants, if you are the Astros,
you're pissed.
You should be pissed. I mean, Detroit has got to be pissed.
Yeah.
You're coming off one of your best seasons ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. No, that's true. And they have been the sexy pick for the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
right?
A young bunch of studs.
Yeah.
Maybe the best pitcher in baseball.
Right. They got a Rookie of the Year candidate in Kevin McGonigal.
Yeah, just unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
But Gleyber Torres is out, and Javier Baez has no, we're talking, well, we might as well go ahead and talk about the AL Central. Gleyber Torres is out. Javier Baez, no timetable for his return. They're still doing, they had him actually shut down some baseball activities. But lo and behold, let's talk about a surprise. The White Sox, they are officially for real. They took 2 of 3 from the 2-time World Series champion Dodgers at home in Chicago. They're 24-12 at home. They held their own again. I mean, look, they held it. They salvaged the game against the Yankees yesterday.
Yep.
All right. So and Yankee Stadium is not an easy place to play. They're 24-12 at home. They're 14-6 in one-run games, and more importantly, they're 12-5 against their divisional rivals in the AL Central. So good enough for them. Davis Martin is going to be an all-star. And they're holding their own without Munetaka Murakami, who's set to be back sometime this week.
But I mean, give them credit. The Dodgers roll into town. They win 2 out of 3. Right?
Yeah.
They
That's
do go
a yardstick.
Yeah, they do. They do go on the road and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. But I'm just saying, what I don't like about the Yankee series for these guys is the way they lost. Right? They got beat up in those games. I think they were
Davis
both
Martin
double-digit losses.
Got pummeled.
Yeah. I don't like that for a team that's kind of scratching and clawing, not expected to do a whole lot. I don't like losing games like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because these are the types of teams that could really fall off after a series where you just get pummeled.
You're right. The 2 losses were not competitive. But
They
to their
bounced
credit,
back.
they bounced back.
They bounced back.
Yeah.
They won the 3rd game, didn't get swept.
Right. The Guardians are still hanging in there, just a half game out of first place, even though they have injuries to Ramirez that we talked about. Rookie outfielder Chase DeLauder, who was doing so well early in the season, he's out with a rib fracture. And Angel Martinez, he fractured his foot. It's a non-displaced fracture. He's out 6 to 8 weeks. All 3 of these guys were lost in the same game within 3 innings.
Yeah,
ouch.
It's tough. I mean, we're on the steps of the Midsummer Classic here, right? And all I'm saying is this division for me, I think you have 2 teams that aren't going to compete with this division. I'm surprised by the Twins. I'm surprised by the White Sox. The Twins are only 4.5 games out. The question is, I know we might get to this, but are they going to be sellers at the deadline?
Well, Byron Buxton has already said, I don't care what anybody else thinks. Nobody knows what's going on inside my head except for me. And right now, I'm a twin.
Yeah, I'm a twin. Yeah.
You know what? And I admire that. I mean,
like
he signed
that
the
answer.
deal.
Yeah, I like that
I signed the deal. I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what? No one's going to make me stay unless they talk to me. He said, unless they talk to me, I don't care what anyone else says. Joe Ryan probably needs to get moved. Trevor Lawrence probably needs to get moved. Yep. We'll see, what the Yankees or somebody else throws.
But I bet you the expectation in Minnesota was not that they would be 4.5 out at midsummer.
No, they were going to lose 100 ball games.
Yeah, so I'm just saying. That's what makes this game great.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you just don't, you have a team at the beginning of the year, everybody's writing off for dead. They're going to be sellers at the deadline, and then they're 4.5 games out and could make a playoff run. Like
you mentioned writing off for dead. You know who I'm going to write off for dead? This is my second team. The Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, well.
They're dead. I'm done with them. I'm done with them this year. They are 30-45. Bobby Witt Jr. just came out of a game yesterday. He tweaked his knee. Doesn't look good. He's going to be day-to-day, but they have the worst record in the American League. Salvi Perez, even though he hit a home run yesterday, he's only hit 10 home runs. Jack Caglione can't hit. Vinny Pasquantino can't hit. They got too many guys who hit 220. Their starting rotation is good, but their bullpen is an absolute abomination. It's a total joke. They keep on blowing leads. I'm done with them.
Run differential's awful too. Yeah. 43, awful. That's not going to get it done.
Absolutely terrible. So I'm done picking them. They're going to have to start showing it to me and going deep. I mean, you teased me in 2023 or 2024, and you're not going to do it to me. You did it to me last year.
Well, let's talk about the worst division in baseball,
the AL worst?
Shall we? Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit, right? So you have a team up in the Pacific Northwest who thinks they've arrived.
The skinniest kid in fat camp?
Yeah, and they're 2 games above 500. You can't walk away from this thing. How much does that piss me off, right? I mean, just what a joke of a division. I'm tired of it. And here's what's going to really bother me, right, is whoever wins this division is going to compete for the World Series. I guarantee it. They're going to get into the playoffs and look like they've seen a baseball when they've been playing all year looking like they haven't.
They're going to get hot in September.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to talk about Cal Raleigh in the playoffs. I mean, what a joke.
You're not going to talk about Cal Raleigh in the playoffs. You know who you're going to talk about in the playoffs?
No, don't.
Hunter Brown.
Don't.
Jeremy Pena.
Yeah.
Josh Hader. They're coming back.
Yeah,
they got the band back together.
It looks like it.
The Astros are back. They are healthy. And here's what's more important. They're rested. These guys have had...
And they're only 4 games out of first place.
Right.
Thank you, Seattle.
Because everybody else let them let them hang around.
Yeah, I think the division is a joke. It wears me out. You know that. I've been talking about it all year. I've been talking about the fact that Seattle can't take their rightful spot. They are 2 games above 500. And look, when the Astros are down, you got to step on their throat, dude. And
You've been
down.
saying that all year.
They were down for the first half.
But they keep on moving.
Yeah, and you are now 4 games out. I could see them. They were in your rearview mirror.
Oh, yeah.
It is not good. I would give them a break.
They took 2 or 3 from the Tigers at home.
Yeah.
Hunter Brown came back, did very well.
I would give them a break check, hope they rear-end you, and hope for an insurance settlement is what I would do.
And that leads me to my third team that I am writing off for the season, and that is the Texas Rangers. They are a mess. They went on a road trip against the 2 worst teams in the American League, which was the Boston Red Sox and the Kansas City Royals. And I said to our boy Freddie D on the Fan, I said they needed to at least go 4-2, certainly 5-1 on that roadie. What did they do? They went 3-3, and then they go to Minnesota. They host Minnesota Twins, who are like 3 or 4 games under 500. They got swept at home.
Yeah,
and neither one of the games were competitive. Look, their starting rotation, which was supposed to be a stalwart, right? There was supposed to be a plus. Very uneven. Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker, they have one good outing and then a couple of clunkers. It took Jacob deGrom three tries to get his 100th career victory. Nate Eovaldi's been up and down. They finally got a closer, I think, settled on with Jacob Latz, but their hitting is atrocious.
Mike, I hate to go back to the best division in baseball all the time.
Oh, I know. You always go back to the end.
But I'm just saying, I saw the Yankees go 11-4. Okay, over a 15-game stint. They went 11-4 over a 15-game stint, and they lost a game and a half. Okay, these guys play awful, right? They played awful baseball. You're writing them off for dead. 3 games out of first place.
I know, but I'm
3 games.
I'm still writing them off because I don't see any improvement.
Right, maybe not, but the division's not pulling away from them.
I know that, but they're not going anywhere. I know that because I saw how they played against the 2 worst teams in the American League.
I mean, they were
horrible.
There's no arguing that. I'm just saying, when you lose 5 of 6,
you're a joke. You're a joke. Turning to the National League in the East, the Braves put Ronald Acuna Jr., their do-everything right fielder, on the IL, but they do get Drake Baldwin back. He makes an immediate impact. He hit a 473-foot home run against Adrian Doogie Howser of the Giants.
It's still going.
Yeah, it hasn't landed yet. But they also lost Spencer Strider. They shut him down for 4 weeks. The MRI came back clean, but he had a sudden loss in velocity in his last start, and it was very concerning. They immediately pulled him. The Phillies, they keep on keeping on, man. They're 28-15 since May 1st, but
I don't like the trajectory of these 2 teams. I think Atlanta is
you think they're going
with
the
some
wrong
injuries.
way?
I think they're going the wrong way, and I think the Phillies are good enough to they had their lineup.
But they got some issues.
They do have some issues. All I'm saying is right now, you never know. Dog days of summer are here. They're here. I've been talking about them, and right now it's looking like Atlanta is the team that may struggle with the dog days of summer.
Yeah, it's true.
As we turn the corner.
We talked about this for a couple of years. They don't have a bench.
Yep.
Right? They don't have guys fighting for positions. And so when they got
no depth.
Acuna out, and they're going to be playing Mauricio Dubon until he drops. That's not good either.
Agreed.
The Phillies, they lost Adolis Garcia for the rest of the season to a torn lat. They also put Brad Keller, their setup guy, on the IL. He had some forearm tendonitis, and so that's not good. Jose Alvarado is not good as a setup man. He faced the Mets yesterday and gave up 4 runs in the 7th inning. And then, of course, Andrew Painter, who their hotshot rookie starting pitcher, I mean, they were so high on him. He's only 23 years old. I get it, so he's got a lot of time to figure things out. But he was really struggling with his command, especially with his fastball, and opposing hitters were hitting 400 against him to the tune of a 7.06 ERA. They said, enough. Go back to AAA and Lehigh Valley, work your command out. And so they can't count on him anymore. Trey Turner, he got hit by a pitch yesterday. He left the game. And the right-handed hitters are really struggling, Eric. They're hitting only .217 with a .276 on-base percentage and a .622 OPS. That's JT Realmuto, their catcher. Trey Turner, shortstop. Alec Boehm, their third baseman. Edmundo Sosa, their center fielder. Whereas their left-handed hitters, they're mashing. I mean, Harper, Bryce Stott, Brandon Marsh, who's hotter than anybody on the planet. J.P. Crawford and Kyle Schwarber, they're hitting .258 with a .454 slugging percentage and a .788 OPS with 57 home runs and 167 RBIs. They're gonna come around. I think they have like 9 games left against the Braves. I think so.
My opinion there is which side. So you talk about hammering it from the left side and struggling from the right side.
Yeah.
Which side is going to have a reversion to the mean? I think the left side's performing the way you thought it would.
Yeah.
Right? The right side's the one that's underperforming. They're going to have a reversion to the mean. They're going to come back.
Alec Boehm's a little bit better than this. Trey Turner's a little bit better than this.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, from the left side, they're performing where, they got a bunch of stars.
But Schwarber's doing what he's supposed to do, right?
They got a bunch of stars over there. And so I'm just saying there's really no fall off there. I think those guys are expected to do that. That's where they live. Okay. These guys over here on the right side are going to start picking it up. I'm surprised by this. Because at one point, the Braves had a 15-game lead in this thing, right?
I don't know if it was that high. I think it was 9.5.
I can't remember, but I thought they were going to run away and hide here. But I'm telling you, dog days of summer roll around, have a couple injuries, it can get interesting real fast.
That's for sure. And the NL Central, taking a look at the NL Central, the division leader Brewers are on a pace to win 102 ball games. That's great for me because I put $50 down on them to win 84.5. So I'm looking to collect on that. That should eclipse their major league leading 97 wins last year easily. The Cards are officially for real. They're 40-32. They're including 13-8 in their division, but they are 1-4 against those Brewers. So they have like 8 matches left against them. So that gives them an opportunity to make up some ground.
And the Cubs are laying in bed and they're looking at vomit next to them. They are throwing up right now.
Yeah, they are.
What a joke.
Yeah, they can't pitch. They've had so many injuries with their pitching staff. Ben Brown goes today. Up against the struggling Blue Jays, and he's been a bright spot on otherwise disappointing rotation. And, of course, the Reds have hit the skids. They're the only team now below 500 in that very hot NL Central. In the West, the Dodgers keep on keeping on. They have the best record in baseball at 48-27, and what bodes ill for myself and Aric, their schedule for the rest of the month looks pretty easy. They got 3 at home against Baltimore. Then they go on a road for 9 games against the Twins, the Padres, and the Athletics in West Sacramento. And the Padres are having so many problems scoring runs. They're 6 games under 500 since May 1st. They're scoring only 3.2 runs per game, and they were shut out. They have been shut out 7 times since May 1st, so they're really struggling. Fernando Tatis still hasn't hit his power stride yet, and Manny Machado is still hitting under 200. The Diamondbacks, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, right? When they were beating up on the Giants and the Rockies, when they went 11-2 on those 13 games. Since then, they've lost 12 of their last 18.
Yep, reversion to the mean. That's it. Denny Green style, they are who we thought they were. I would just tell you that the team that's not who I thought they were going to be here is your Giants. They're the ones that are significantly underperforming. I would have expected Arizona and Colorado to be in last place here.
They play stupid baseball. They really do. They make base running mistakes. They're throwing to the wrong base. Errors all the place. Again,
that's on the manager. That's on the manager.
Exactly, because and Tony Vitello preached fundamentals, right? And I don't see any fundamentals in this team whatsoever.
Yeah. He's being found wanting right now.
Oh, no question about it.
For sure. I'm disappointed in that because I liked him. I liked what I thought the style was going to work, but
it was weird too, Aric, because I think it was Tuesday's game that was eventually suspended. You could see him with Walt Weiss talking with the umpires when they were trying to get the field ready, and it looked like he was lost. It looked like he was just taking whatever lead from Walt Weiss. It's like as if he'd never been through a rainout before, and in the major league level, he never had.
Yeah.
So,
it's just rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
All right. Anybody who's wearing you out, Aric?
Besides the AL West? I think I've used that one every week for the whole season.
That's a general statement.
God.
All right, this is weird, but what's wearing me out is the stupid post-hit celebrations on the base paths. Every time a guy gets a hit, especially if it's a double or whatever, he does some stupid little dance or whatever, especially with the Dodgers. They do this little thing, and it's just like, it's as if they've never got a hit before. It's like they just, invented fire. Come on. Been there act like you've been there before. Okay, maybe I'm sounding like an old man, but it's like it's staged. And it's annoying.
Well, it's definitely staged. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this. I really do think they need to allow these guys to have a good time playing this game.
I'm all for having fun,
right?
But don't make it like it's staged.
But what I'm also going to tell you is I don't think this subset of players, this generation, man, am I sounding old, but this generation of players.
Back in my day.
Yeah. So what frustrates me is that there's no proof in the pudding. These guys aren't good enough technically to be hot dogging it.
Yeah, when the major league average is only 238.
They are not good enough.
No.
Right? They're not like I'm just going to tell you, Paul O'Neill, that guy rarely showed emotion.
Oh God, no. The only emotion he showed was when he was ripping up the bat rack.
Correct. Yeah. but I'm just saying like these guys, I want players to have fun. I want this game to grow. I see it in the Little League. They're letting these kids wear all this get up and they're doing the celebrations at second and all that. But my deal is we're going to do that when we are good enough to do that.
Well, when we have a reason to.
Well, I agree.
In a game you're hitting a home run, okay, go ahead, go on with your bad
hot
self.
Dog it. Yeah, slam the bat, whatever.
But when you get a single, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
All right, turning to the marquee matchups this weekend, we got 3 good ones. The Cleveland Guardians at 39-34 travel to Houston and face the Astros, who are 35-41. 2 teams on the brink. They could be going in opposite directions. Friday is Tanner Bybee. He's 2-7 with a 3.96 ERA for Cleveland. He will go up against Tatsuya Imai, who's 3-3 with a 6.43 ERA. Saturday is Joey Cantillo. For the Guardians, he's 5-3 with a 4.38 ERA against Spencer Arrighetti, 7-2 with a 2.57 ERA. And Sunday is Slade Ciccone, 3-5 with a 4.6 ERA against Kai-Wei Tang, 3-6 with a 4.31 ERA. The Guardians' offensive struggles continue. Catcher Austin Hedges, he's the leading hitter at 271. Their top 2 home run hitters, Martinez and Ramirez, that we talked about, they're on the IL. But check this out. Their closer, Cade Smith, leads the majors with 24 saves out of 26 opportunities. And the Astros, tell you what, Yordan Alvarez is putting up MVP-like numbers. He's leading the major leagues in slugging percentage at 642 and OPS at 1042. He also leads the American League in hits, home runs, batting average, OPS plus, and total bases. Hunter Brown, from his return from the IL, his first start, 6 innings, only 1 earned run, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts, and 3 walks. With him, Arrighetti, and Peter Lambert, they can form a formidable top of the rotation. And with Josh Hader back in the closer spot, he can settle that bullpen, and they can be a real problem in the American League, Eric, and certainly in the AL West. How do you see this?
I like the Astros here. I think the Astros are getting back on track here. I think I'm going to go back to my point. The fact that they played such poor baseball early in the year, and they were dealing with injuries in their rotation, just one after another, and the fact that they're only 4 games out of first. And they're getting back healthy. They have Alvarez, who's looking like a MVP candidate for sure. I like the Astros here. I think the Guardians are starting to. They're doing the exact opposite the Astros are. Yeah. Right. They're getting more unhealthy, and the Astros are getting healthier. So I like the Astros here. One thing I want to talk about before we move on from this, glittering AL West. Yeah. The Texas Rangers built the ugliest stadium I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. I've been there twice.
I was in Dallas earlier this week.
It's got no class.
I cannot believe they built a stadium that looks like a barn. I would be pissed. Yeah. If I was a taxpayer, anybody who helped pay the bill for that thing, I can't believe the way that thing looks. Now, from the front, it's a little bit better. From the front, when you go around the front of the park, a little bit better.
Is that where you enter Texas Live?
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a cool spot.
I agree, but that stadium is the ugliest in baseball. It's got to be
uglier than the Trop.
I think so.
Okay, no, I'm asking.
I think so. The damn stadium looks like a barn. It's brand new too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the Trop is at least like 30 years old.
Come on, Texas, do better.
Yeah, it should be. All right, turning to a AL Central Division matchup that we referred to earlier, the Chicago White Sox, the division-leading Chicago White Sox at 38-33. They travel to Detroit in the Motor City and face the Detroit Tigers, who are 30-44. Friday, it's Eric Fetty, 2-5 with a 4.50 ERA against the man, Tarik Skubal. He's 3-3 with a 2.81 ERA. Saturday, the White Sox have yet to announce their starting pitcher, but he will go up against Troy Melton. He's 3-0 with a 2.81 ERA. And Sunday is Davis Martin, the White Sox ace, at 9-3 with a 3.31 ERA against Justin Verlander, who makes his return from the IL. He's 0-1 and hoping to improve on that 12.27 ERA. The White Sox are looking at Munetaka Murakami coming back. He started baseball activities They still don't have a timetable for his return. I thought it was going to be a little bit earlier, at least sometime in this week or next week. But their replacement, Miguel Vargas, has filled in admirably. He's hitting .310 with a .462 slugging percentage and 462 on base percentage and a .655 slugging percentage with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs.
They're going to find a spot for him.
Yeah, they do. I mean, he plays third, he plays first, he can play a little bit of outfield, so they're going to find a spot for him.
He's performed very well.
Exactly. With the Tigers, Skubal, Verlander, and Casey Mize are back to anchor that rotation, but some position players are going down. We mentioned Gleyber Torres. He heads back to the IL with another oblique strain. He could be out a month to 6 weeks. Avi Baez was shut down from rehab activity after visiting a specialist on his ankle sprain. Parker Meadows is still rehabbing from his surgery to repair a radial fracture in his left forearm. But rookie Kevin McGonigal leads the AL with a 4.2 WAR out of shortstop, and he's hitting .282 with a .390 on-base percentage and .429 slugging percentage with 6 home runs and 26 RBIs. Aric, this is a very important divisional matchup. We're going to find out if the White Sox are for real on this one. How do you see this one?
So I like the White Sox here. I do think Skubal wins his start, but I do like the White Sox to take this series. Skubal's playing for his next team, dude. That's what he's doing. He's trying to.
He's auditioning.
Yeah, he's trying to audition for who's going to come to the table with the highest offer. I read a Buster Olney article. He's thinking Skubal's favored to go to the Yankees. I mean, don't get me excited, but I will tell you.
Do you need him now?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like I want to be
How
clear.
many yachts do you need to ski behind?
That's exactly right.
Enough?
That's exactly right. I love it. But I'll tell you, I've often heard the Yankees are in the mix for guys, and it never pans out. But I'm going to tell you, that's what he's doing here. The Tigers are dead. I think the White Sox take 2 or 3 here. I think the White Sox are for real. They're playing motivated baseball. The manager's got them rolling there. And I think Skubal takes care of business, but I think they handle their business last 2 games of the series.
All right, great. Finally, the Milwaukee Brewers travel to Atlanta and face the Braves. The Brewers are 44-26, first place in their division against the Braves, also in their division, leading the division at 46-26. Friday is Jacob Misiorowski, the Flamethrower, at 8-2 with a 1.34 ERA, goes up against Martin Perez, former Red Sox, at 5-3 with a 2.9 ERA. Saturday, Kyle Harrison, the resurgent one, 8-1 with a 2.7 ERA against Chris Sale, 8-5 with a 2.30 ERA. Sunday is Robert Gasser. He's looking for his first win against 3 losses with a 4.88 ERA against Bryce Elder. He's 5-4 with a 3.15 ERA. The Brewers, their starters are holding down opponents to a 2.16 average, and they get starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff back. He's going to be back in the big club after completing a rehab assignment in High A, Wisconsin. He was out since April 30th. He was initially diagnosed with dead arm, but then had a cyst removed and drained from his right shoulder that was operated on back in 2023. He feels a lot better and recently called up top prospect Cooper Pratt. They signed this guy to a 9-year deal. And he was still in the minor leagues, and he's not that much of a big prospect, but they called him up, I guess, because they weren't getting any production from shortstop position out of Joey Ortiz or David Hamilton. They were combined with a 190 average, only 2 home runs and 16 RBIs, and right off the bat, Pratt is making a name for himself. The Braves, on the other hand, they're dealing with injuries up and down the roster. Mauricio Dubon, however, is thriving in Atlanta after stops in San Francisco and in Houston. He's hitting .259 with a .315 on-base percentage and a .408 slugging percentage for the Braves. But Michael Harris exited Tuesday's game with back tightness, so we don't know if he's going to be put on the IL. And shortstop Ha-Seong Kim, who they signed to a $20 million deal at the beginning of this offseason, he's still getting in baseball shape and struggling. He and catchy Sandy Leon were hitting under 100. As a matter of fact, they DFA'd Sandy Leon because they just acquired Joey Bart from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and so they put Leon in limbo. Aric, talk to me.
This is not the team you want to see if you're the Braves. Right?
No.
You're starting to get hurt. You're seeing one of the best teams in baseball. I mean, they're top 5 team in baseball. If you're the Braves, this is not what you want to see. Now, look, when it really is, there's a lot of luck involved in this game. And when you start to have some injuries that start piling up, similar to the Braves, the teams that you want to see are the Marlins or the Rockies or the Giants, right? Those are the teams that you want to see in times like this. Sometimes it works out like that, right? And it's kind of worked out like that a little bit for the Yankees. right? But sometimes this is not the team that you want to see, is my point, right?
No.
I would tell you, coming into next week's episode, I think you could see the Phillies right there at 3.5, four games out of first place.
All right, sounds good. Anything else, Aric, before we sign off?
That'll do it. Watch a little college baseball this weekend. It should be good. Those guys are really, really good players.
All right, sounds good. That'll do it for this episode of the Picked Off Podcast. We want to thank you all for listening in. We also want to thank you for your feedback. We want to make this show better because we do it for you. You can catch us every week on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on X at @TheBitterMike or on Instagram, BitterMike1963. Time is precious, so we appreciate you spending some of yours with us, Mike and Aric, talking the great game of baseball. Have a great weekend, everyone, and happy Father's Day to you all. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.